Controlling archiving is the module in which we will cover up that how exactly archiving is performed, setting the initial database archiving mode, changing the database archiving mode again, performing manual archiving or adjusting the number of archiver process. So this is a similar like kind of module that we already discussed it, but we want to clarify the concept in a more detailed way, that how we can perform basically archiving and what exactly the archiving activity is. So as I mentioned earlier, after switch, a copy of the redo log file is sent to the archive destination. How it exactly is performed? We have two kind of portions. One is called instance, the other one is called database. So within the instance, we have a log buffer. So log buffer is basically managing log writer to perform the task to start filling up the first group with members M1 and M2 when it is active. When it is filled up, then that particular case, same time archive will start filling up because it is already in the archive mode, and from G1 to G2 start filling up the G2 as a current members, and from current members they start filling up the previous, overwriting it, but before overwriting all the data has been shifted or saved into a archival log. So in this particular case, every redo log basically has archival files. So once the log writer restart filling up redo log file, before doing this one, archival basically start filling up in the archival log. Similarly, when our redo log 2 is basically restart filling up, before restart filling up, the archival redo log filled up for the redo log 2. Usually you can use the default of no archiving log mode at the database creation, because there is no need to archive the redo log information generated by that particular process. So when you install the database in the default mode, it is always available as disabled redo log files. So as I mentioned earlier, that we can run the command to make this one as enabled as well. After creating the database, decide whether to change the initial archiving mode or not. If you specify archive log mode, you must be initialize parameters set that specify the destinations for the archive redo log. So what you will do it? Start a new instance and mount, but do not open the database. So first step, we will perform start up the database in a mount form. So there are 4 stages of the start of the database. We will study later on in the particular case, but right now mount is one of the stage. Like we already discussed, the startup open or just startup means that open the startup for the normal usage. But DBA has mount and no mount stages as well, where DBA perform few tasks. For instance, DBA is going to perform the archiving mode enable to disable or disable to enable. So in that particular case, start mount is required command that need to be run with sys user. To enable or disable archiving, the database must be mounted but not open. Change the database archiving mode, then open the database for the normal operations. So we can write down alter database archive log or alter database open. Then we shut down immediate the database and restart again. So back up the database to manage these tasks is very important. So this is how we can perform the archiving mode. So changing the archiving mode manually means we start up mount the database, and then we can say change the database archiving mode, and we can run this command like alter database archiving log manual, alter database open, and similarly we can say alter database archiving all, and then we will perform the shutdown immediate as well. So basically backup is very important to manage these things as well. Adjusting the number of archiver processes. So for example, we have initialize parameter called log archive max processes. Number of our ARCN processes that the database initially starts, the default is 4 processes. To avoid any runtime overhead, we can manage this one as a log archive max processes. So initially at the end we can say that how we can manage or adjust the number of archivers. तो हमें ये वाली कमांड जो है वो रन करनी पड़ती है इस पर्टिकुलर केस में। तो अप टू 30 ARCN पर ग्रुप जो है वो मैनेज होते हैं। तो अल्टर सिस्टम सेट लॉग आर्काइव मैक्स प्रोसेसेस equal to 6. For example, we can say 7 or something like this. So in this particular case, maximum numbers for the archival files are going to be 30.